Hi everybody, Gerone Wright back here again. Here's an image here of again of drunken Noah, and I guess his sons Elisha, Sada, and Pedo. Okay, and there's two images here. All right, I'm gonna go through both of them with some of the findings that I made. I thought that I was done with Noah, and as I was looking at other images, I ran across this of Noah. And I've been, I've been saying in some of my videos that Noah has this thing for penis, and he was actually involved in molesting his sons, and utilized them for genetic bridging with animals and himself, and that's what the whole story and the flooding of Noah was all about. That and the historical moments with the deluge, which represents flooding as well too, heavy rains and all of that. But anyway, it's my finding that everything that's ancient and historical dealing with these historical moments are pinpointing moments in time where there were successful genetic bridgings and manipulations of mankind had taken place, and historical biblical figures, which are the hallmarks of these times, are actually shown in their contributions and what they did to further the cult-like ritual that actually calls for our manipulation, our genetic, our manipulated genetics, should I say? All right, I'm gonna go right into here. I'm gonna take you first of all. Let's go to Noah's penis, since he's laying there candidly with his penis out. Okay, this image is a 1430 to 1450 image, and it's if I can say this right, Bibilia, Pauperum, and it says Bavaria era. It's from the Bavaria era. You know what I mean? So you can look that up. A drunken Noah. I guess it's 1430 to 1450. Babilia. Okay, Bibilia, Pauperum, or Pauperum. Okay, and then apostrophe, and then Bavaria, Bavaria. Okay, and you can Google this image, and you can see some of the references that I'm making for yourself, because it's always better when you have it right there on your screen and you can pull it in and look at it and go from there. Even though I try to do as good as a job as I possibly can right here. Let's go to Noah's penis. Noah's penis is out right here. I'm sure that you can see that there's no highlights to be made there, and all of the other images I have to show you. But see, this is what I'm telling you about how the earlier on images that reference these sexual innuendos and these insinuations, how the earlier images we go to, they go right out to the open. It's like right there, the penis is right there. It's not where you have to go looking and searching for it, or find him in some of the other videos that I made in encryption of him resting restfully on the penis, like I did in the other images and stuff. And what's happening and what's being shown here is that Noah, what this is stating is that Noah is genetically bridged. You know what I mean? Seriously, people, think about this. Here you have a historical biblical figure with his 3 kids right there. Why in the hell would he have his penis out? You see what I'm saying? So, and here I come along centuries later and stating that his penis is out because it represents that he was genetically bridged and his children was utilized in doing these genetic bridgings. There's references of reptilians being made up in here and everything else. I'm just going to show you some of the encodings that are there and what you can look for. Okay, where do we need to go here first? All right. Oh, you know what? Let's go back to Noah's penis. Let's go back to Noah's penis. All right. Noah's penis has, when you Google this image, on his penis, which actually looks like hair there, right there just before the shaft of his penis, there is a number, and the number is 78. on his penis. Look for that number. Google the image. Okay, pan in on it, on his penis, and that spot there will produce a number 78. Now, that number can also be interpreted as, because the tasseling comes across it, that white tasseling comes across the top of the number, and it also creates the number 16, and what else? Oh, the number 76, the number 16 and the 76 and 78, the three numbers. So that number can be interpreted as 78, 76, because one of the loops in the 8 looks like it could be off, which gives it, turns the 8 into a 6, or 16, because the 7 is cut off at the top, and it makes it looks like this. It could be a 1, which makes it 16. But the number that stands out the most and makes the more sense would be number 78. Now, that number, I mean, I don't have no knowledge as to why that number is there or why it stands out, but that number could be there for several reasons. And those several reasons can be, one, at 78, that might have been Noah's age during that time, but how would the artist actually know that? I would not know. Or this could be at this time of how many times Noah was genetically bridged, which were 78 times. Okay? It could represent the number of animals that was on his ark, or supposedly ark, which I'm stating that the ark represented that of a cauldron, and it represented genetic manipulation. There was never no flood. The only flood it was a mass scale manipulation of genetics. Okay? Now, where we at here? Now, I want to take you to what else is here in this image that I would like to show you that stands out the most. Okay, here in Noah's beard. Now I can't really see it from this. I got it penciled in. Okay, in Noah's beard, it actually gives shape to that of an ape face. Okay. And there's other creatures up in there as well too, people. I'm just going to draw the ape. You know, that's my favorite. Okay. There's an ape in Noah's beard. Alright. Now, that ape is shown with these strings from Noah's robe coming in and shown spliced off, split, going in two directions, which was going towards Noah's son here, and the other tasseling coming around from the other direction, shown coming around, and then it shows you morphine beings that are actually cloaked down here in Noah's wardrobe and down here, down towards the bottom, which creates the face of creatures right here. There's two of them. Okay. Now, there's one face here. Let me draw these faces out that I can see and point you out to them. You know what I mean? I'm just drawing them fast, people. There you go. You'll see two creatures there. Then, off to this side, where Noah's son is at, off on this side, there are another two creatures facing each other. In this case, it's a man, a bearded man, and a woman that's shown in the shadow figure in there. And they're facing each other, and I can't really get, just drew him because I could, oh, okay, here she goes here. She's there. See if I can get her lips backwards. And the shape of each other's face, their face create each other. And she's facing towards him, if you can see that there. a man and a woman facing it. The woman is facing that way, and the man is facing that way, and it shows the boy holding both genes. You see that? He's got one hand on her. His left hand is on her side of her head, and his right hand is atop the male's head, showing you that he took in both of those genetics. Let me give this guy a beard. From Noah. Okay? Now, this is a very famous encryption style of Renaissance artists, with having encrypted faces, impressions of faces within the clothing of the beings that are the individuals that they're referencing in these bloodlines, okay, as well as the color of clothing. Now, this is shown, again, being this indication is shown these genetics coming out, being spliced. See the 8 there at Noah's beard, showing you the genetics is being spliced through Noah. And I can tell you exactly what's being implied here. Now, if you look at the kid's face, you will see different creatures in their faces, and that's why they have these specific looks. And again, the color coding. This blue, this red represents the blood. So the blood of Noah was genetically spliced into this guy over here, one of his sons. And this blue over here represents that of the semen of Noah, spliced in from over here, which takes in both of them. Now, what happens here with this guy here, with this third son of Noah in the middle with his hands up, with his hands out like that? Meaning that he had no parts of this, but what happened with him is that he was genetically spliced between his 2 brothers, and their genetics is in him, and he's called the prisoner, which I learned that terminology from Da Vinci's prisoner painting. Now, if you go and look at the Last Supper image, I don't know the name of that individual, do I? But anyway, if you notice, right behind Judas, and then the individual that has the knife at Judas's back, the individual after that, I used to know their names, but none of it escapes me. Oh, in fact, I should have the image actually here. Matter of fact, we don't have to go through it. I have it right here. Notice these hands, almost like gang signs. Here, this guy right here. Notice that his hands is up. The same thing is being implied here, people. See that? It's showing you that he didn't have anything to do with the genetics coming in from his side, but however, they were bridged over him. Both of them were bridged back and forth. And that's what that's all about, and that's what that is implying. Okay? And all of this, people, is a cyclonation and recreation and altering of genetics, and that's what that's all about. Now, let's take Noah on that same side and do this. Now, the pine cone image, I noticed that this is a flower here, but it implies the pine cone image. And how I know that is because the pine cone image represents, and you learn that from me first, the tail of the rattler, which represents reptilian, along with the color green, represents the reptilian in these encrypted paintings, Renaissance artist paintings. So, now, knowing that symbol, all I have to do is put the face to it, who I know who the face belongs to, and basically all I have to do is look into the grass and let my pencil do the rest. Around the bottom lip, there's the chin. Coming around the top lip, there's the nose. And you see how it gives that face. Now next to her is another being right there. And come around the lips, the nose, and these faces, people, become more and more familiar as you read into these Renaissance artists' works. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to the other side. Can you see them faces there? Now, when you start looking at these images, I'm going to see if I can bring that up some for you so you can... Did I go off the... Yeah, I think I can bring it down some. When you start looking at these images, people, islander faces and all of that, people, it starts taking on an eerie reminder as to why some of these headdresses are worn, these fruit baskets and stuff on the head. Look at that, people. Hidden in the grass. And then the image, it gets bigger and bigger. I mean, if you look at it, these images are shown morphing off in all directions. Let me give you another one here without messing that up. I'm going to do an eye right there. There's an eye. You see these faces? You'll see that they're cloaked in there. They go from largest to smallest, and it shows things actually in their mouths. Then you see them going off into the other direction. These morphing beings are shown. Here's the cheekbone right here. There's a cheekbone, and Noah's hand is shown resting. Let me come around this head right there. There's the nose, head, and look at the mouth. Now this is supposed to be a flower right here, and it has. I mean, it's a flower. But look what I have actually here. It shows in the middle with the white cross-referencing. A cross is in the mouth of this face that I just drawn right here. A cross is there. Now, you see that cross at the face? Now look back this way, and I don't have to draw the second face. Look at this face. There's an eye, a nose, there's a top lip, there's a chin. Look at this cross going into that mouth. Look at this. You see that? Two faces, one facing that way, and then the other facing back that way. And it's showing you, people, the cross-referencing of these genetics. And it's all hidden in ancient encrypted messages right there before your face, coming around the nose. And these faces, they're not always all, they're partial faces to let you know, because these people that knew of this or have some idea, they know what this means, as I know what this means. Okay? These encryption styles. Now, I want to take you to over here to the other side of this painting. And I got to speed it up because I'm actually going slow here. Let me go right there. Alright, I got to speed it up some because I'm running out of, well, I'm halfway through my time, and I used up more than what I would like to on one side. But anyway, in Noah's beard here, standing. Look at the woman right there in his beard. She is the mother of creation. She's facing down. I'm down by her eye. There's her nose. Coming around over her top lip. There's her mouth. There she is, encrypted in Noah's beard. Right there. Okay. Shown that she is genetically attached to Noah. Can you see that, people? Or should I turn that to the side for you? Let me turn that to the side for you. See her better right there, people? See her face? Okay, now let's turn it back up again, and there is her male counterpart, which is right here, and he's also encrypted in Noah's face. He has a worm coming out of his forehead. There's his eye right there. And I'm coming around. There's his mustache right there. And he's connected to the woman, as you can see, and Noah's beard. And there's his mouth right there. And he has a worm coming out of his head, shown turned back in and facing Noah. Now, let's go down to, let me give you an ape. You know I like to give you apes. I'm going to give you an ape right quick. I got to speed things up. My ape is right here. This mound here represents the ape's head. Here's these white dots here, these white mounds over top of the eyebrows of the ape. This is the ape's forehead right there. The ape's eyes are right in there. Coming across the ape's nose area right there. And the ape's nostrils are right there. Then, guess what? You see that snaky object right there on the top of this man's head? And we stood it? Yeah, okay. The ape has the same worm creature coming out of its mouth. Right there. As I just draw for you. Now, let's go to the mother of creation shown with the ape. Because wherever the ape appears, there is the mother of creation. The witch-like woman. She is shown right here, coming across her forehead, there. This would be her would-be nose. Her would-be nose is the head of the ape, if you were to turn it around. And her mouth and lips and stuff are all right there. Okay. Here's her chin. Right there. And this completes her full head. Oh, let me give her an eye, which is, I believe, right in there. Oh, that's one of her eyes, but there she is right there. The mother of creation. Here's her forehead. Her nose is the head of the ape, facing that way. There's the ape and her nose. Here's her lips. Here's her chin. And we come back around, and that creates the witch-like woman's face. Now there's more, but I'm going to get to the children because I'm running out of time here. Now, let's come back over to this side. And remember I told you that there's always a show of genetic bridging? And in genetic bridging, you have death and resurrection in these cult-like rituals. So, what's being happened here is this little boy, and which should be disturbing because this little boy is shown being sacrificed genetically and being attacked by bears. One bear is biting the boy in his crotch. The other bear is biting the boy in his back. Now, what do that mean? First of all, it shows genetic bridging. Here's one of our here's one of our ancestors here. Alright, there's one of our ancestors right there in the boy's head. Can you see that? There. And I don't know if you can actually see that, but what's showing is that what's being taken out, this bear is being genetically bridged through the boy's semen, and this bear is being genetically bridged through the boy's blood. These black bears represent black children, and that's what this is about. They use animals to reference that of our black ancestors. Now, notice that this bear has no tail. it's a signification that that bear is already genetically bridged with Noah. If you recall, think back on the Lost Book of Nostradamus, where you have the dog reared up on the Pope with no tail on it. Showing you these represents, that is an ancient symbolization with the no tail being missing, that creature had in fact been genetically bridged with the individual being depicted, in this case Noah, and then turned away. And that's why you see in the Pope in the Lost Book of the Nostradamus with the dog being backed away, and the Pope has a sword in his hand, and the Pope is half like a bird, or representing the ancient reptilian dinosaur genetics, and the black dog is being turned away, which represents the ancient black ape genetics. Alright? This is very disturbing, because this image, Noah's kids is over here. And what it's showing you is that all of these things that are in between, and there's more there, these things that are in between represents the bridging of Noah and his children, these genetics. So what's being stated here is also being referenced as back up there. One image verifies the next. That's why I told you people that I do not need a scholar, or I do not need an expert to verify anything that I have or anything that I have discovered, because everything that I discovered is already self-verifying. These genetics, these specific genetic bridging and alterations, as in these cult-like rituals, have to be referenced. They have to be referenced precisely, people. They have to be recorded precisely to further these cult-like rituals in the future. Let people know, hey, you don't do this, you got to do that. These are recipes for something that is far more greater than what they have led you to believe. And that's far more greater than your belief in God, far more belief than your belief in religion, far more greater than your belief in reality as we know it, people. Everything is totally opposite thereof. Okay? I'm beat to death on Noah. I would go into more detail about more things that are actually in here, but I'm beat to death on Noah because Noah done burnt me out with his fetish for penis. And I just want to move on, but I had found this image, and it was burning my head to go ahead and get that going and get that out there. Now, just like I told you, though, with Abraham, I'm going to bring Abraham back up again, but just like I told you with Abraham, with his son down, and Abraham's penis is out, and notice this. Notice the tasseling, people. Look. And Abraham's penis is out and in his son Isaac's mouth. Right there. And how this is all cloaked in this image. And then I showed you the apes on either end and how the stone represent genetic bridging. Look how the tasseling, people, identical. Look how the tasseling crosses over the robe across Abraham's penis and at his son's mouth. Look, people. You know, it's almost identical to what is actually being said here. You know what I mean? Almost identical. These encryption styles were adopted and utilized over and over again. Some changed, some altered. But the thing is that you go to the ancient images, the first and foremost, before they perfected their science on how to cover and encrypt these messages in their artworks, you had it in its rawest of form showing you. And that's what these ancient Romans with all of their penises out, and you've seen all look like all of these wild orgies and all of these paintings on the walls, and they want to tell you that it's brothels and all of that. People, this stuff was all sophisticatedly done and genetically bridging, and these places were created to genetically bridge mankind. And I mean, it goes on and on and on, but I'm going to leave it at that. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. Watch all my videos, people. I'm moving towards number 90, so watch my videos and support me. And Google a friend my messages. I mean, my site. Link my site to others. There's more here, but I'm going to skip over that because Noah's done burnt me out. Thank you. Bye.